The goal with all these fireworks is to see how quickly we can set up a fireworks show that the general public will enjoy. You'll notice everything we have here is from the Riakeo Firework line, including Proline cakes, compound cakes, and a bunch of their Max Load cakes. So I'm at the center position. All the fireworks you see here will be at the center position. The fireworks there will be at the left and right positions, which will be just kind of tucked in over here. We have a wide variety of Proline here, as well as a bunch of these compound cakes. These are 4 variety Proline cakes, and you'll notice that they have quite impressive long descriptions, and the whole goal with those is that you can chain them together, light one fuse, and it's essentially like a show in the box. And so if you picture each of these being their own show in the box, you can see how easy it would have been for me to throw something together. Same thing down here, more show in the boxes, and the Max Loads are also pretty nice assorted fireworks. Here's an example of a compound cake. You'll see 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are 4 individual cakes with a main fuse and a reserve fuse. The reserve fuse can be chained to the main fuse and so on. So when you light the first main fuse, this cake will go, and then every other cake will go sequentially. Obviously, this is great from a limited queue perspective, so I can have 1 initiator or E-match and 1 queue light 4 different fireworks. This lasts for like 105 or 110 seconds, something like that. So if you're trying to build like a show in the box on limited number of queues, this is a great opportunity to do so. The negative being that if there's any issues, hypothetically, if you need to stop the show and you're only halfway through, you might have to wait another 60 seconds before this position stops firing. So that's obviously a big concern. And then additionally, let's say the first cake fails to fire halfway through. None of that will fire, but one of the things you can do to help prevent that is put a backup in the very last reserve fuse on the last cake there, so that way if you notice it stops firing halfway through, you can hit your backup fuse. So that's another potential option here. But what we're going to do is we're going to try the 1 E-match approach, connect your igniter here, and then we're going to take these and chain them together, move the caps from each fuse, and they have these interlocking mechanisms here. Twist, and that's now connected. I'm going to tuck this down into the cardboard here. And so now I just need a match on this first one, and all 4 of those are already connected, ready to go. I mean, it's super fast when you're doing it this way. This position also has a couple other cakes over here. I already started putting match in those. I poked them in advance so that way this would go faster, and any of the Proline cakes we just got to throw a match in the main fuse. So I also have this Max Load, which is 2 cakes that are angled apart. So I'm going to put one on the left, one on the right. We're going to fire those at the same time, and then I'll have something else firing in the middle. I'm going to drop all the cues. We're going to see how quickly we can wire this up. We're going to I specifically chose these fireworks because of the variety of effects. You know, when you're doing like a scripted pyromusical, you might want all solid effects or very specific type of cakes. But in this case, this is for a general public. They don't necessarily care about tightly scripted. So to have it mix firing patterns, mix effects, is gonna be way more appealing than me trying to spend too much time coordinating it. So what I did is I spent about 30 minutes looking at the fireworks, created a multiple position script that is a combination of manual and automated firing. So for example, it starts out, it fires a couple cues in sequence, and then it moves over to what's called a step script, which means I manually hit the next to firework effects. But this position is effectively done. Probably spend another 3 to 5 minutes just securing stuff down. Here's kind of what I'm thinking for the middle position, where I just space everything evenly throughout and then secure it accordingly. Okay, so this position has been wired up. Now I'm still gonna do some cleanup effort, like I said, and some staking and securing, but I am literally about 40 minutes into setup and I have 5 cues left to drop, another 8 cakes. So we're gonna be done in an hour, which is quite impressive. That was my whole goal here. When using compound cakes like this with the electric match ports, it goes super fast and is super convenient. And then I have one other position to my right, which has a case of compound cakes here. See, they have some nice instructions on there. So yeah, 4 in that one. I have 3 Max Load cakes here, and then I'll take one of those angled cakes as well. All right, so less than an hour and a half of setup time, and we are done for what we're gonna do right now. It's starting to get into the heat of the day. UV index is skyrocketing. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get some shade, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back later and finish the setup, such as cutting the tops off, securing some of these cakes with tape. I ended up going with tape for the cardboard, but all the compounds I wanna leave in the boxes. It'll make cleanup easier, and to be completely honest with you, I think we're gonna burn these probably right in the center here, away from the field, but right where they're kind of sitting. And I think later I'll come through and I'll add a backup match on those for a manual hit in case I see something not fire. I think I'll do all of the compounds. But yeah, we're gonna get out of the sun here, and I'll see you guys when it gets a little bit darker. Is everybody ready for fireworks? Yeah! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1! tell me to go faster. fire looks really awesome on video.
Pyro addict chasing